Last evening, something felt off. You were going about your usual routine when you noticed it. The birds. They were there one moment, and then suddenly nothing, no chirping, no fluttering. Just silence, not gradual, not natural, it all stopped at once. And you probably didn't think much of it at first, but then it lingered. That quiet stayed longer than it should have. Here's what most people don't realize. When birds suddenly go quiet at the exact same time every evening. It's not just a random pause. It feels synchronized, almost like something triggered it. And once you start noticing that moment, you begin to wait for it. Because this isn't just about birds going silent, it's about what that silence does to you. And this is where it gets interesting. The first thing you notice is the shift. 1 second there's background noise, chirping, movement, life. The next it's gone. That sudden contrast is what catches your attention. Your brain is constantly filtering sounds, deciding what matters and what doesn't. But when something familiar disappears instantly, your attention locks onto it. It's called auditory contrast, and your brain treats it like a signal. Something changed, something important, even if you don't know what. But that's not the real reason it feels so strange. The second thing is timing. It doesn't happen randomly throughout the night. It often happens around the same time. Just as the light fades, just as the day transitions into night. Biologically, birds adjust their activity based on light levels. It's tied to their circadian rhythms, but when multiple birds stop at once, it feels coordinated. And your mind doesn't like coincidences that look organized. So it starts searching for a cause. Here's what most people don't realize. The more consistent the timing feels, the more intentional it seems. The third thing is how quickly it happens. There's no gradual fade, no slow quieting. It's abrupt, almost like a switch. In nature, sudden silence can actually be a response to perceived danger. Many animals go quiet when they sense a predator nearby. It's a survival mechanism. A way to avoid drawing attention. So when you hear everything stop at once, your brain interprets it the same way. Even if there's no visible threat. And this is where it gets unsettling. Because now, without realizing it, you start feeling like something might be there. The fourth thing is the absence of sound. Not just birds, but everything else too. When birds stop, it creates a vacuum, and in that vacuum, your senses sharpen. You start noticing smaller sounds, a distant movement, a faint rustle. Or sometimes nothing at all, and that nothing feels heavy. Because your brain expects sound, and when it doesn't get it, it fills the gap with anticipation. But that's not the real reason it stays with you. The fifth thing is your awareness. After experiencing this once, you start noticing it again. The next evening you pay attention, you wait for that moment. And when it happens, it feels more intense, not because it changed, but because you did. Your awareness amplifies it. What was once background noise becomes a pattern. And patterns feel meaningful. This is where it gets interesting, because now you're not just hearing silence. You're expecting it. The sixth thing is how your body reacts. Even if you don't consciously feel afraid, your body shifts. Your posture changes slightly. Your breathing slows or pauses. You listen more carefully. That's your nervous system responding to uncertainty. It's subtle, but it's real. And the longer the silence lasts, the more your body stays in that heightened state. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body reacts before your mind understands why. The seventh thing is the environment itself. At dusk, visibility drops. Shapes become less defined. Shadows blend together. Your brain has less visual information to work with. So it relies more on sound, but now the sound is gone. That combination, low visibility and sudden silence, creates a perfect condition for unease. Not because something is there, but because your brain can't confirm that nothing is there. And that uncertainty is powerful. The eighth thing is repetition. It doesn't just happen once. You notice it over several days, around the same time. The same quiet, the same pause, and with each repetition it feels less like coincidence and more like a pattern. Your brain starts predicting it, and once you can predict something, you start assigning meaning to it. But that's not the most important part. The ninth thing is what happens after. When the birds start again, it's almost as sudden as when they stopped. The noise returns, the movement comes back, and everything feels normal again. But that brief window of silence, it lingers in your mind because it felt different. It felt like a break in the flow of reality, and this is where it gets deeper. Because that moment, that silence, it changes how you experience the evening. You become more aware, more attentive. You start noticing transitions. The shift from day to night, the moment things slow down. And in that awareness, small changes feel bigger than they are. But that's not the final realization. The final thing is that it was never really about the birds. It was about what happens when something familiar suddenly disappears. When a constant, like sound, like movement, just stops, your brain doesn't ignore it. It focuses on it, it questions it, it tries to explain it. And when it can't, it creates a feeling, not fear exactly, but something close to it. A quiet tension, a sense that something changed, even if you don't know what. And maybe that's why it stays with you. Because in that brief moment of silence, you became aware of something you usually ignore. The background of your world, the constant noise that makes everything feel normal. And when that disappears, even for a few seconds, the world feels different. Not louder, not darker, just unfamiliar. So the next time you notice birds suddenly going quiet at the exact same time, don't brush it off too quickly. Not because it means something hidden is out there, but because it reveals something about how your mind reacts when the world suddenly goes still. And once you notice that pattern, you won't stop noticing it. If you've ever experienced that exact moment, when everything goes quiet all at once, and it feels just a little too sudden, share it. Because the more people pay attention to these small shifts, the more they start to realize. Silence isn't always empty. Sometimes it's the loudest thing in the room,